BlackRock has just stated that they have started buying up all the XRP that is out there. They also said that by the end of 2025, they would put more than $9 trillion into XRP. And this comes at a time when both BlackRock and JP Morgan announced that they are submitting a request for an XRP ETF. Specifically, JP Morgan is expected to start using XRP after the US Supreme Court gave them the go-ahead, making it clear that JP Morgan and other financial institutions can use and deal with XRP. We estimate $317.80 on July 1st, which is less than a day away since so much money is coming in. Over $20 trillion for BlackRock, JP Morgan, and Swift, all of which are said to start using XRP on January 1st. We also need to remember the ISA 222 messaging system, which will go online on the same day and is supported by central banks all over the world. And the money is about to start. While we discuss about XRP and trillions of dollars on the XRP ledger, we're giving away free XRP to everyone who watches this video. It's quite simple. Like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, use my link in the description to sign up, upload, and make a transaction. Once that's done, which takes less than 5 minutes, you'll have up to $100 that you may use to buy XRP. You can buy any other cryptocurrency, or even take out the $100 and pay it out for free. This is another great chance. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. All the links are below. So let's get right into today's video. Okay, let's get right to the video. The price of XRP has gone up 36,311% since it first was out, reaching that $2.13. But what we need to talk about today is the real value of XRP and the reality that big companies like BlackRock, JP Morgan, and even Wells Fargo have all started accepting XRP as payment for credit card loans, mortgages, and debts of all kinds. So this really means that XRP's price will go up to $10,000 or more. Over 4,000 institutions in the United States are already talking to Ripple Labs about working together and using the digital currency XRP to make payments easier. And this was on July 18th, 2023. So, a while ago, actually. Think about how many banks are talking to Ripple Labs right now and using the XRP to make payments. There are certainly more than 10,000 banks around the world, and there are perhaps 20,000 banks simply in the United States. A lot more over the world, since central banks are now using the XRP ledger. The United States Federal Reserve, for example, has created a crypto reserve that will hold $60 billion worth of cryptocurrencies. The Federal Reserve has said that the crypto strategic reserve they are developing would largely be made up of Bitcoin and XRP. We also need to remember that $654.390 trillion is coming into the global real estate market, which will affect the XRP ledger through the RealFi ecosystem. RealFi is happy to say that the Real token has completed all of its tests and is now ready to be released on the XRP ledger. The date of the release will be announced soon. The milestone is the start of a bigger goal: to make it possible for the $654.390 trillion global real estate market to be tokenized and easily added to the RealFi ecosystem. People can now put their orders by going to payrealfee.com and clicking on Real Token to get ready for the release. We are grateful for the ongoing support from our partners, community, and institutions that work with RealFi. For formal news about the Genuine Token launch, Stay in touch with 3 to 5 people on your team. The real idea here, though, is that it's all happening on the XRP ledger. RealFi's real token will help move trillions of dollars, and all of that money will be on the XRP ledger. In other words, people are not only buying and selling XRP on the ledger, but every time they do, XRP is actually burned. This lowers the supply of XRP, raises the demand for XRP, and ends a big supply shock that will show up in the price of XRP. And they are doing it on a very large scale. Rivian has finished the first phase of the plan to tokenize 654 billion, 390 billion on the XRP ledger. They are giving away a lot of XRP to celebrate this big event. And I do think everyone should take some time because, again, it's free money. And as we speak about XRP maybe being worth $10.20, $30,000 per XRP, you can obtain it for free by entering the RealFi promotion. You may follow them on Twitter at RealFi Team. Send it to the RealFi XRP and Tech RealFi team, and then like and retweet their post. This is pretty good news, and it's free money. It seems like this year the floodgates are going to open. I mean, in the last week or so, SARB 121 has been called back or rolled back. And I mean, it felt like minutes when you heard from CEOs like Bank of America saying, "We're all in." And you know, these are institutions that Bank of America was one of our first partners when we were working on a payment system that simply used messaging software. So we've worked with these kinds of banks for a long time, and the lack of transparency and, I believe, even antagonism against pay in more recent times, like, using these assets and this technology is not okay. It's risky, which isn't the best method to deal with it, as we would say. But if I had to guess, absolutely. Really appears like there's going to be a sea change this year. And even I could say that after the US election in November, even just the conversations we've been having with banks about being reserve banks or transaction banks for the stablecoin or our payments business, the tone and message changed overnight. It was rapid-like. Ripple is another one you enjoy. You indicated that this is the currency to pay attention to right now. Of course. Why? Okay. Before the SEC looked into Ripple, it was the second biggest coin. They filed a really strange case against them. And in short, the Ripple is going to be the main track for everything in the future. So they made their own stable coin right now. Fine. Also, as I indicated, Bank of America was doing all of its business with themselves. They have 83 patents on it, and some amazing things are going to come out. So another one you like is Ripple. What is cash? How does money get made? And if our current money system doesn't work, what would be a better one? People no longer trust fiat money. The debt is so bad that the whole system needs to be reset or rebooted. The government has taken things before. The Federal Reserve can make as much money as it wants.